Hi guys, how are you doing? This is the second installment of the contour drawing. I hope you guys practiced with drawing some items that you found around your house before you went on to your photograph. I went ahead and drew in a little, well, most of the contour. The contour part takes a long time. I've been working on it for quite a while now. Hence the bags under my eyes. So what I did was you start with the outline of what you are drawing, and then you go in and you start adding details of where the main facial features or the main features of whatever you're drawing are. And you darken those, and then you go in and you add where the shadows and the highlights are going to be, and you use a very light line, almost a wispy line for those. That way they're easier to erase and easier to smudge with your blending stump or your finger when you get to the shading part. Now, in lieu of a blending stump or the paintbrush, you can just use your finger to smudge. I find that the blending stump and the watercolor brush, the stiff watercolor brush, help make it easier, but we can go the old school route and you can just use the tip of your finger. Just make sure that it's very clean and that it doesn't have any oils in it, because the oils will adhere to the paper and make the graphite unerasable, basically. So make sure that your hands are very clean if you're going to be smudging with your finger. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in here and I'm going to show y'all my contour that I've done. Okay, so there's the picture that I started with, and then here is my drawing. Let's zoom in a little bit more. And you can see the detail lines that I went in with the hair. I used a wispy light line, and then I outlined where her jawbone is, her cheekbone, the shadows that I saw on her nose, her lips, then details in her shirt, and then with Hannah, I did all of the details in her face. I darkened up her nostrils and her eyes so that I knew exactly where those were. Her hands, darker lines for where the fingernails are. But you can see inside that hand, let's see if this will zoom into that. You can see inside that hand, what I've done is I've used light lines in here to show where there's going to be highlights. Those are her knuckles, where there's going to be highlights. And then underneath right here, I have where there are creases in her skin, and then where the highlight top of her fingers are. And then in Hannah's shirt, I drew and outlined exactly where the wrinkles are. Let me go back a little bit. Okay. So you can see there, I have her wrinkles in her shirt right there. And then, that's going to be where those shadows are, and that make that shirt, they're going to help make that shirt look realistic. Okay? And I'm going to go in to this side of Dee Dee's shirt. Let me zoom out a little bit and show you exactly what I'm doing. Alright. So I'm looking at my picture and I'm seeing where the lip of her collar is right here, and then I'm going to pull it down where I see it go. And it's kind of hard when you have a pattern, but I can see that it kind of ends right there underneath Hannah's arm. And then it has this little lip here and connects to the turtleneck that she's wearing. Okay. And as I'm drawing, I'm going to be adding more of the texture in her shirt. But I highlighted right here, you know, an X there and an X there, just so that I can see exactly where, you know, this is going to be one of those little squares here of the pattern in her shirt. Okay, and you see it kind of does this little thing there. And what's fun about patterns in clothing is they help you get a sense of the movement of the shirt, and they help highlight the body underneath, the body structure underneath. It kind of pulls over here. Okay. And she has, right here is the lip of this collar. And then this is the very edge right there that I caught. Right there. Okay? And this moves up and around. And that shows you that that is that collar there. So I began drawing portraits. It's a funny way how I started. I began by drawing a portrait of a dog, of a friend of mine, and I did it as a gift. And it was actually, I was pleasantly surprised with the drawing because I've never really been good, or at least I've told myself I've never really been good at drawing people or animals. But it turns out that I have quite the gift for it. I gave that to her, the drawing of the dog to her, and she posted it online on Facebook. And all of a sudden, all these people asked, who did the drawing? Who did that drawing? Can she do people too? And at the time, you know, I was kind of low, we were low on money, and I was like, hey, okay, I guess I can try. I didn't charge very much money for my first portrait. And then my second one was another gift for a friend. But I ended up making a little bit of money off my portraits, and I still get commissions for those portraits. What my specialty has become is putting together pictures of people who have passed with children that they never met, with grandchildren they've never met. I did a drawing of a grandfather dancing with his granddaughter. He passed before her wedding, and she said that her one of her only wishes at her wedding was that she danced with her grandfather because she loved him so and missed him so much. So I was able to merge together two photographs into a drawing, and I was able to create that memory for her. And the support that I've gotten and the amount of people who have asked for these drawings has been, you know, I've gotten a lot of feedback from it. So that's become my little niche, is helping people create memories that they never thought that they would have. And it's become very special to me. I thoroughly enjoy creating these drawings, and I get very, very emotional when I draw them, because it's something special that I can give to someone, a memory that they never thought that they had. Now this is a very special drawing. My grandmother passed before she was able to meet Hannah. And Dee Dee has been through almost my whole life. She has been a grandmother to me. And to be able to capture this photo of her holding Hannah, she didn't know I was taking the picture. And to see that emotion on her face, so very special to me. I wish I had a picture of Hannah with my grandmother. And having this picture of Dee Dee with Hannah, I will cherish this picture for the rest of my life. And doing a drawing of it, I'm starting to kind of choke up right now. Doing a drawing of it is very, very special to me. And it will be special to, I'm going to give this to my husband. It'll be very special to him as well. So what I'm going to do is I am not going to do anything in the background, because I feel that that distracts the eye from what's happening, this moment between my Dee Dee and my daughter. Okay, see in the photograph, there's, she's sitting on a couch that's striped, and I feel like the stripes kind of take away from her shirt, the detail in her shirt, and then the facial features and the hair and everything. So I'm going to make that. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make that black or if I'm going to leave it just white. It's going to depend on the shading techniques and how I shade and render the rest of the drawing. But so you see how I've been just doing very light, wispy, kind of almost a gestural-like sketch when I'm doing this contour, so that it's easier to erase, but then you get a sense of where all of your shadows are going to go. So your first challenge now is to do that contour of your photograph that you picked out. And I hope that you choose photographs that have a lot of contrast, that have a lot of lights and darks. And it does make it easier to transfer the photograph into black and white. But if you don't, I can also have a little lesson on local color, which is how to transfer different colors into black and white. Like the yellows would be your lighter tones, and then like the purples and the dark blues would be your darker tones. But we'll get to that when we get to that a little bit later. But I have had a lot of fun, and a lot of memories came back to me when I was creating this drawing. And I hope you have fun doing your outline. So what I'll do, oh my goodness, I'm huge in that. Woo, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin shading on this a little bit, but I'm going to do most of the shading on video, because amazingly enough, the shading part is what takes the least amount of time. You've already laid out your groundwork, you've laid out your map to go by. So the next steps is to use your blending stump or your finger or the paintbrush to lay down and to blend in those tones. Now you're going to use, I usually use an ebony pencil, but if you're just using a regular writing pencil, that's fine. It's all about how much pressure that you put down on the pencil. For lighter colors or for lighter tones, you don't press down on the pencil. And for darker tones, you press down harder and harder and harder. You may want to do a value scale with the pencil that you're using, just so that you get a sense of the tones that you can create with that pencil. And a value scale is simply drawing several squares across a piece of paper and doing your light tone in the first one, and then gradually get darker and darker and darker by adding more pressure on the pencil. And then you'll get a sense of, you know, how you're going to render this drawing and to get those perfect lights and darks. Okay, so I hope you guys have fun. I'm having fun with this. I'm enjoying this, and this drawing actually is starting to turn out looking really good. So I will see y'all next time, and for the younger ones, we are going to do a little craft today that has to do with food again, but you're going to be able to eat it this time, okay? What I need you to do if you're going to do this craft is I need you to bake some sugar cookies, or go buy some sugar cookies from the store if they even have them. But I'm sure everybody has a little recipe that they can go buy. You know, flour, sugar, butter, all the good stuff. And we're going to paint our cookies. So I will see you guys shortly after we bake ours. All right, bye-bye.